What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning into my channel. Um, this live stream is going to cover a few different purposes, but I have a lot in store. So I'm going to go through the doc that I made, pretty much detailing what the purpose of the live streams are going to be. So, first things first, channel update. I'm going to cover a lot of different new changes for the channel that are going to become the status quo. So I'm gonna get right into it. So in terms of the new streaming schedule, I want to start regular live streamings on Monday and Thursday afternoons. That is subject to change because things may happen in real life, and also because I'm going back into school soon, and I don't know how heavy the workload is going to be for me to warrant that. But we're just gonna check the ebb and flow and see how things work. So the purpose of the streams is that I want to interact with people in real time, with viewers, discuss topics of interest, nerd stuff, art stuff, the usual, and also engage in drawing challenges that I set up for myself, and hopefully, probably, they will be made into videos, compiled from the stream footage. That's pretty much the idea. The way it is right now is that like I have notes for videos and I want to record them live, and then once I have the recording set, I'm going to go and edit them and make them entertaining for the average bygone. So right now I'm just going to detail which steps I'm going to cover in which time. So I guess this is what, 5 minutes in. The live streams are also a great opportunity to work on personal drawings and drawings that I want to make for merch and prints live. So, people just get a clear insight into my drawing process. And it's also going to be cool because I can splice those stream clips not only into regular videos but into shorts. So I can put them up on, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels, and hopefully reach out to a broader audience without, having to break my back to, quite frankly, appeal to an audience that, I don't even use shorts like that. TikTok, I don't use that. So, but bottom line is the live streams are going to allow direct interaction with viewers. They're going to foster community, and it's pretty much killing 1,000 birds with a single stone. So I don't see any reason not to do it. Just gonna be lit. Next topic, video presentation. I right now am aiming to completely overhaul the presentation of my videos, literally from the ground up, unrecognizable. And the goal for that is to attract new viewers, new audiences, while still satisfying my current subscribers, because like the gist is the videos themselves are not going to be that different from what I usually make, because I'm not going to change my content just to reach out to people. I'm just going to keep making what I like to make. But branding, like titles, thumbnails, intros, graphics, and stuff like that, do make a pacing do make a big difference in like reaching out to certain audiences, really, choosing the audiences that you want to resonate with your content. So I am keeping that in mind. Expect a lot of changes in the presentation of my videos from now on, just kind of feeling things out. And looking back at my older videos, the reason why I came to this conclusion is because my videos have like tonal shifts depending on the era in which they were made. Literally, like the other day, I was watching videos from my high school era, and it's like, yeah, they're corny and they're bad. like from a formal perspective, but they have a lot of heart and charm and a lot of personality that later on stopped existing. So I'm not trying to force anything, but I'm trying to bring out, reinvigorate, you know, the fire that was always there. So that's pretty much the wave about that. The thing about that though is people can usually smell personality. Like they can tell if you're making content just for the sake of putting something out, or if you're making content because you really think it needs to, exist in the world and you have a creative itch that must be scratched. People can smell that. Like some more than others, but usually amongst all human beings they can tell if you're serious. And that means a lot to me personally. Let's see what else we have in the notes. Yeah, this is pretty much stuff that I literally just went over. Yeah. But bottom line is, want to establish a stronger connection with the viewers while also creating the purest content that I've ever made. I want to add a personal touch to the videos. I want to share my thoughts, my experiences, and, you know, really elevate the channel to a new level, to something that you literally cannot get anywhere else. I think it's already like that right now, but it hasn't really done a great job of showing that. Like, I've had the same amount of viewers for like 7 years, spanning all my channels all throughout, like even when I was a kid. And so my main priority is keeping the stuff that I'm making right now, but like really focusing on reaching out to more people. Let's see. Oh, yes, the Changers. That's the next topic. The Changers webcomic and promotion. So, the Changers comic is going to proceed as usual. It's not going anywhere, but there's going to be a major revamp in its promotion strategy. I'm going to have more of an emphasis on the premise right now rather than the actual story for the time being. And what that means is I want to really get over, like, to people what the Changers is in its essence before I really start going deep into story stuff, because I want to get people to know the characters. I want to people to get to know this, gigantic world that I'm trying to build. And with past attempts of the Changers, um like I kind of went head first into plot without really having a definite, like encompassing concept. So that's my main priority right now, and I'm actually going to get into that in a little more detail later in the stream, and you'll see why. So the Changers website, actually, for people who don't know, I host the comic on my own website. Webtoon versions, Tapas versions are coming later, but I want to have my own website because, it's my servers, and so I have less of a chance of everything fading before my very eyes. I had a Wikia page that I spent a ton of time on that literally just got wiped from existence because I don't know, like I didn't update it in a while, so they just decided it was useless, and that pissed me off. So that's never gonna happen again. But bottom line is, the Changers, this new promotion strategy, it's gonna leave viewers intrigued. It's gonna be the thing where you scroll and it catches your eye, and whether you like the premise or you like the concept or you even like the art or the thumbnail or the title, you're gonna stop for a few seconds and like notice it. Like, this is actually a thing that I'm looking at, instead of just scrolling through schlock on your feed. That's my priority. That's the main strategy. Next, video branding, experimentation. In the coming weeks, I may upload videos on the channel that seem very similar to past content for viewers who are, like watch every one of my videos. It may seem like you've watched it before, but it's going to be under a different mask per se. New titles, new thumbnails, new intros, new graphics, new branding, and that's because I'm trying to like create an experiment in order to understand the impact of video branding and presentation and how much like just looking at it, because at the end of the day, making videos and trying to like actually get them off the ground, it's just advertising, right? So I'm just trying to stretch my muscles and figure out how the whole thing goes. Yeah. The next thing, podcast. So in 2020, May 2020, no, it was March, I had a podcast with my good friend Zaire, Sarcastic Z, um, who plays a pivotal. I can't speak right now. Who plays a pivotal role in developing the concept of this version of the Changers. I mean, he's inseparable from it now, basically. And we're trying to reinvigorate, restart that podcast because a lot of things have changed since then. So the podcast is going to be called the Talk Shop Podcast. We're going to talk about the latest updates and trends in, nerd stuff, gaming, comics, and animation, and offer an engaging and insightful, I guess, platform for enthusiasts of this nature, basically. We're also looking to get different guests on the podcast because it's also going to be an artist thing where I want to get guests on it, interviews, for people to different figures to provide their own insights and their own, pretty much their own perspective on the topics that we talk about. So that's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fire. It's gonna be a lot of chemistry. I'm anticipating peak, honestly. The schedule, we're thinking every Saturday, but then again, just like the stream schedule, it might change. So who knows? And pretty much the last thing of this channel update is gonna be the music. So there are still human beings on this planet who don't know that I make music but are subscribed to the channel, and I don't get that. And it shows in the views. So I consider myself to have a distinct and unique musical style, but then again, my music content hasn't gained widespread popularity even among my subscribers. And I've been acknowledging that for a while because really early in the year I started pushing my music stuff, and it was hit or miss. The reception rather, or the engagement was hit or miss, despite being really, for me, it was really innovative in terms of the compositions I was creating, the instruments I was using, whatever the technical stuff. I was proud of it. But in response, I'm pretty much making a new channel just for music because, visual art and animation and music, even though I do both of them, it's kind of a separate realm. Like, not everyone who wants one wants the other, and I get that. So I created a new channel called Noxic Music, Noxic. Yeah. And that's pretty much self-explanatory. I make music, I upload it there instead of here. All the music that I have here is going to be re-uploaded there under the new branding experiments that I'm trying to, employ. So then again, that's the wave. Killing two birds with one stone once again. And that's pretty much the update for the channel. A lot of ambition is going to be coming in the next several weeks. I'm trying a lot of different stuff. I really want this channel to get off the ground. And yeah, that's pretty much that. So, oh, and also, obviously, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you like the way that this channel is going, show it, you know, comment, maybe leave a like, maybe tell your friends, who knows. But I'm proud of it. And I hope you are too. So, yeah, that's literally it. Yeah. So I have a few video topics and notes in the doc that I have right now. And I'm debating whether to just record them separately or record them on stream. What do you guys think? Y for stream and N for separate. Here's a channel update. Forgot that I was not on the screen, so this, you didn't get to see this while I was talking about the channel, but I want to start making that the video I had in mind, but I mean, I'll just do it. I'll just do it. Hold on, let me get ready first. I guess I'll record the intro off screen, like the outro, but like the actual meat of the video I'm gonna do right now. I think that makes the most sense, because the intro and the outro are like, you have to get those right. And I'll also record the channel update off stream when I'm not stuttering. So let me put on the timestamp for this right now. 21, let's say 22 minutes. Okay. Drawing with Speed in Clip Studio is pretty much a combination of fundamentals and shortcuts. And Clip Studio is a pretty robust drawing program, allowing for many different ways of creating art. It's, you know, you're basically God, honestly, if you know what you're doing. So I have a few tips that I use on the regular when it comes to creating art quickly. Actually, all of these tips you cannot do in quote unquote traditional art. You pretty much, these are Clip Studio exclusive tips. So, segment 0, choosing canvas presets. So let me take a screenshot of this. So when you open Clip Studio, you have this, and this is you setting up your canvas. You've got the resolution, you've got the dimensions, and your paper color. These are the different types of drawing or document you want to make. This is just a regular illustration. This is animation. I think all of these are comics. This is like a webtoon, like, I don't know, fanzine, whatever. I don't use those. So those are your different presets, project presets, but you can also create your own specialized document presets. So by going into preset and clicking this icon, With the settings that you already have, you can create your own user preset where you can just select these, press OK, and you go like right into the document. It's pretty easy. We're pretty much going to the basics right now, but large, this is what I use for pieces that I know are gonna have, let's say, more than like a full body piece, or like a piece with more than one figure with a background. This is like a sketch. Small is like a sketch or a doodle or something like a test that I want to employ. Medium is usually a half body shot, 4x3. Sometimes I make like fake screenshots of like older aspect ratio cartoons and stuff like that. I do that in that style, so I use this occasionally. Comic 2 panels, comic 1 panel, and comic 3 panels. So for the changers, I split my pages into segments of 3: top third, middle third, bottom third, and each panel has a lot of detail in it. Sometimes more detail than the actual page file will allow me to create. So sometimes I create my own documents out of those panels, and this is basically what that is. Thumbnails, these are YouTube thumbnails, slightly smaller than 1920 1080. And profile picture, it's pretty much a square, right? I usually create a square in that one and then like put on like a circle mask so that I see what it looks like under an actual profile. That's pretty much it for the presets. Number 1, segment 1. Wow, I'm so unorganized. But segment 1 is mastering gesture drawing for anatomy. So before we get into all the shortcuts, before we get into all the hacks, like number 1, you gotta have the fundamentals. Gesture drawing is pretty much the basis of whatever you're going to do when drawing the figure, and even just in general, but you know, usually drawing the figure. I use Quick Poses. Look up quickposes.com. They give you free stock images that you can use with a timer that goes down, and basically your goal, your objective is to get the gesture, the essence of the movement onto your page or your canvas in that allotted time. It doesn't have to be neat. It doesn't have to be like this super masterpiece. They literally give you, I mean, you can change the time, but I usually do 30 seconds or a minute, and that's basically it. It's really good for warm-ups, but if you want to improve your gesture drawing significantly, do it every day for the course of weeks and you will see an improvement. I do that. I don't do it as much now because I think I'm pretty good. Like, I have a good fundamental basis of gesture drawing and drawing loosely. But when I was really on that grind in that aspect, I did that every day, like relentlessly. It really does. It buffs you up. It's like literally hyperbolic time chamber of gesture. It's cracked. The benefits to it are obviously more dynamic drawings, increased line confidence, and it also allows you to create more complex compositions because you don't have to constantly erase and redraw and change the proportions. You kind of just know, like, once you have that skill for eyeing a picture, or better yet, a real life model, like eyeing the proportions, you know, being a nerd about it, like you kind of just develop that internal muscle. Number 2, the power of references. So references are basically the bullets of your art shotgun. You can't really do anything without them, honestly, because not everyone knows everything. You can't draw from imagination for too long unless you already studied those I guess mental references from real references. I like to use Pinterest. Pinterest is crazy. I have a bunch of different folders in my Pinterest account depending on a character that I have, like an OC, or like a specific body part, or a way of coloring or line art. There are so many images on Pinterest. Dude, I found an image of Ben 10 fan art I made 3 years ago on Pinterest that I didn't even upload. And I hate seeing it because it's like you look up my name on Google and that's the first thing that shows up. Disappointment. But anyway, use references. It's awesome. One thing that I also recommend is creating a private Discord server with different channels allotted for different references. So I have a private Discord server for a lot of things. It's like video. I have video creating assets, music creating assets, and also visual art creating assets. So I have a different like category for each of them. And the channels will go something like, I don't know, sketch, like stylization, coloring, you know. It really depends, honestly. And I just gather references from cool artists that I see. I gather their drawings and I put them in the allotted channel and I just study them. And, you know, I try to employ the techniques that I see that they're using, and yeah, I do a lot of that, and that has actually encouraged me to do a lot more digital sketching just for the sake of improving, because I usually do that traditionally in my sketchbook. But having like digital references on the computer, it's like I'm already here, so I might as well just use my tablet. You know, makes life easier. Using references is really going to elevate your art to the next level because it's the basis of pretty much everything. Like, I don't really know how to explain it in a more concise way because, like, dude, it's references. So now we're going to get into the actual, like, physical blah blah. So segment, what are we on? 3, simplify sketching with one layer. So usually I sketch in one layer and I just continually get erased or like fine detail accordingly. So let's just like do like a baby mode sketch right now. This looks like garbage already. Sketching Shane from the Changers in like a 2-minute, you know, we're not spending a bunch of time on it. Probably super off model right now. So see, I'm just sketching the basic. We're not refining the proportions or anything just yet. We're kind of just sketching like what needs to be there in order to be built upon. Alright, looks like trash. Okay. And sometimes I'll just like shorten or transform proportions that are not like right, but it's the point of it is like you have basically what needs to be there on your first pass. Then you erase, slightly smaller brush or pencil, and you go over it. This is the way I do my sketches on all scales. Headshot, half body, full body. It really doesn't matter. But this is the way I usually do things. And it has been working. So yeah, that's the wave. It is like extremely fast. Sketching on one layer, like this is much faster than having multiple layers where it's like, whoa, I gotta draw the eyes. And then, oh no, let's do the detailing on the hair. Like, dude, we don't got time for that. Just do it on one layer, you know, get that work in. Because it's just a sketch. Like, unless you're going to publish this, this is a blueprint for the rest of your line art. And as long as you know, like if you're self-aware about the quality of your line art, it's not gonna matter. Like, you know what to do at that point, right? So this is usually the level of detail that my sketches go in. This is like not very on model. Yeah, but and then my line art goes on this, you know, on another layer. But right now we literally only have 2 layers. Like, that's it. This is it. We don't gotta do anything else. Smoother workflow. It's easier adjustments. You don't have to navigate like 20,000 layers in order to change like the proportion of the eye. Like, you kind of just do it, right? And this is it. So that's where we at. Number 4, achieving clean lines with vector line art. Vector line art, as opposed to raster line art, is calculated by, can't speak right now, I need water. Calculated by mathematics instead of raster pixels. So let me break this down real quick for people who don't know. Raster, right here, vector has this like little cube on it, right? Raster does not. So raster, let's say I make say I make like a dot, right? And let's make a dot for vector too. But for raster, if I enlarge that dot, you can see the pixels enlarging and distorting in the artifacts, right? This does not look that good because it's being stretched from its original resolution. And in order to achieve a mark of the same quality in that size, you would just have to redraw it, right? In the resolution that it was originally meant to be in. This looks a lot better, but in order to manipulate this again, if you shrink this down and rotate it and do whatever crazy stuff with it and then enlarge it again, it's gonna look like trash again. Don't do that. You're on Clip Studio Paint, so luckily you have vector line arts in which you can just take this, enlarge it. It retains the same exact quality that it had before. And you can do this on any scale, right? It's really broken. It's like extremely cracked. So let me take an example. Actually, let me downsize this because we don't need all this space. Change canvas size, drag it to the fitting grid. Let's say, I'm not gonna do this whole line art right now. I don't think it would take that long, but still. Let's just do like the outline of the face. Let's do the neck to the bottom of the chin. Alright. I also add little details that weren't like in the sketch when I do line art because, you know, I already have a good enough basis. There's a fly in my room. Good enough basis to where like you can just do that. So okay, this is all I'm gonna do, right? Because this is all I need. So right now my canvas size is at 875 by 829. For digital drawing standards, that's pretty small. So what if I wanted to enlarge it? With raster line art, like I already went over before, if you enlarge what was originally drawn there, it's gonna look like trash because it's not the size that it's meant to be. But I go to Clip Studio Paint, vector line art. I go to change image resolution up here in edit. Click it. Let's do. It shows us the resolution. Oh, you guys can't see this window because I'm on OBS. But let me copy paste it. So usually, if you go to edit and change image resolution, it's going to show this right here. This is the resolution that you're currently at. This is the scale that it's at. So you're at 1x scale, which is the standard. And this is the DPI. So in order to increase the resolution, I usually type a multiple of the original scale. So like 1.3 or like 2.0, right? Or if it really needs to be big, like 3.0. So I'm gonna close this and I'm going to do 2.0. Now, if you look at our resolution, it's 1750 by 1658. the same as it was, the same line quality and like fidelity that it was before, but the resolution's a lot bigger. And if there are mistakes that need to be fixed, it's a lot easier to do that when you have vector line art, because another cool thing about vector liner is that you can set the eraser so that it instantly erases lines. Like you don't have to go, no, like you can boop, it's gone, boop, it's gone, boop, it's gone. It's a lot easier to just efficiently erase lines instead of spending all that excess time, you know, doing things that you don't really need to do. That's the great thing about vector line art. It's insanely time saving. Like it's literally godlike, and not enough people use it. Even people who use Clip Studio Paint that I know don't use it. And dude, I mean, it depends on the art style, but for a cartoony or like anime like art style, comic books, this is awesome. Like it is the greatest thing possibly ever made, aside from the wheel and like the Popeyes chicken sandwich. So number 5. Oh, I already went over this. I have a bunch of notes right here, so I know where to go, but we literally just did this. So segment number 6, instant color with the fill tool. Let me tell you about yet another great thing about vector line art. You can pretty much color instantly. Let's say I have a circle. Let's make a raster circle, right? Doesn't have to be perfect, but this is my raster circle. If you try to fill it, yeah, things go in pretty smoothly. I mean, there's this little janky part right here, but for the most part, things go pretty smoothly. If I have a more complex shape with a raster layer, it might not be able to fill so clean. You know, there are colors sticking out to the line art. Sometimes there are artifacts, little parts like this are not filled in all the way, and in order to fill those in, you would have to change your brush size to like a pixel and like really fill those in manually, and you might not even get to do that completely efficiently because there are still pixels sticking out. All right, it's horrible. So what I usually do, like we have vector, we go to vector line art, make a new vector layer, literally draw whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It really does not matter because it's done mathematically. Go to another layer because fills don't work with vector layers. Go to another layer, raster. Go to your brush, fill up the vector path, enable this. If you don't see this here, go to that little wrench, right? And it should be there. And look, boom, 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 instantly, like instantly. You can either do that, or you can like drag to the point where it instantly fills anything under that mouse, and it's crazy. See, there are little sticking out parts right here, but it's a lot easier to manage because they're on a separate layer. It's great. Vector line art is God. Let's see, segment 7, your go-to color palette sheet. Create a go-to color palette for quick color selection. So a while back, I created a color palette to use in the changers. This includes all of the major colors I use. I usually pick from here, and if I need a more specific color, I go to the color wheel and like select accordingly. But this provides a more than great basis on color picking. Right up here, I have the skin. This is human skin, Exlandrian skin, and like this right here is like 4chan user skin. It's like very pale and ghoulish. So that's that. This is a more standard color area, including the highlights and the shading. Sometimes different colors get a kind of a rim light too. But using the color picker in Clip Studio Paint, it's very easy. to just select colors and go with it. Because I've already figured out which colors work well together. So it's just a matter of picking them. For blacks, right here, I have the regular, and then I have 3 different levels of highlight depending on the level of shine on the object or the piece of clothing. Right here, this is Genga. This is what I use for shading when I animate. Let's say it's what the it's industry pros do too when they animate traditionally. But let's say I have like a piece of line art, I want to add a shading to it. First, I'll go up here, select green, for example, or blue, so I know which layer it is and I don't get confused. I go to dot pen, which is literally just a pen with like 1 pixel on it, and wouldn't work here. I'll do it with raster, and then just draw. And this helps you outline where your shading is going to be. But I usually don't do that for regular illustrations. I just do that for animation. For regular illustrations, I need some water. The way that I shade is that I go, let's just make, a drawing like fill it. This is a putrid color. Let's do black. Let's do this level of shine, and then I use a lasso tool to select the area that I want to shade, and I just change my tool to fill, and I click it. It's that simple. And it works for almost anything. So that's what goes into color picking and shading. There's another way you can shade. You can do it using blending modes. So let's say I want to shade. Actually, let me go to a drawing that I like already have instead of just making abstract stuff. Let me go revisit a drawing that I have already made, and you'll see what I mean. Look at my folders. This is a good one. This is a good one. Watch it load. Okay, so here's a drawing of Shane from the Changers once again that I made back in like March, I think. I shaded this. Actually, no, this is a normal layer. Let's see. What did I shade this with? Yes, I did shade this with a blending mode. So this is like the normal color layer that I have. Pretty much just use this. Right, these are the flats. Are they the flats? Yes, these are the flat colors. Just flat, blocky colors. Then what I did was I got a hard light, and I basically chose this. These are like my shading, quote unquote, colors. So I chose the blue. I usually change the layer property to fill that entire color, and then don't do that. And then, like I said before, with the lasso tool, I select and I just fill. And the way that blending modes work, this is hard light. You can also use multiply. I use multiply too. Is that it takes any color below the color that you're trying to fill in, and it basically adds an overlay kind of mask to it. So because this is a dark blue, the layer is multiply. It kind of has that overlaid on top of the base, and it makes me it makes my job a lot easier. So I can just, as long as you know the basics of light and darkness. Sound like a Kingdom Hearts character, but as long as you know the fundamentals of shading, you can just go home at it, and it's the easiest thing ever. You can also take this one step further. Dude, I need water right I'll get it after. You can take this one step further, which I've been doing very recently, is I have a blending brush. So if you click J, I think it's J, depends on, my keyboard shortcuts are different, so I don't remember the defaults. But if you click J, you go to blend. I have this brush called flat blend, and what you can do is go into in between, like the middle of these two colors, the light and the dark, and you just, nope, don't do that. Do this, something like this, and it provides, dude. It provides a much easier way to blend colors together without having to use a brush to paint them. Yeah, this is basically what goes into blending modes when it comes to shading. The inverse is also possible. So I usually go to overlay and I click this once again, go to light or white, and shade accordingly, shade the way I want to shade, and it makes everything easier because it overlays on top of the base color. Makes shading super epic and super raw. You can also add a second layer of shading by doing the same. So multiply layer or hard light layer, and then another multiply or hard light layer. So you have 2 layers of shading. That's gonna be awesome. It's super intuitive. It's the best thing ever, and it makes drawing digitally, God forbid, actually fun. Okay, so what else is there? Oh, no, I think that's it. Looking at my notes right now, I forgot what I put in my own video. Oh yeah, that's it. You know, that was a comprehensive guide on how to shade, different speed techniques for Clip Studio, line art, vector line art, fill tool, a bunch of stuff, gesture drawing. Those are all the strategies, or I shouldn't say all, but a few of the strategies that I employ when I draw digitally, and it makes things actually really fun. So that's the end of that. Let me read some of these questions. How am I lighting my setup right now? I actually got a few cool lights for my birthday, like studio lights. So I'm just using those. They have like little color like sheets on them. I don't know if you can see this, but it's pink-ish. So I'm sliding them on top of the lights, and that's what lights the darkness. I did have another video planned too. It was an overview of the changers, and I had notes. It's actually right here, but I'm debating on if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to do that now or later, because I kind of want to make this a recorded video. There's a lot that goes into it. But also on the flip side, I want to answer questions that you guys may have. But I did say that I'm streaming Monday and Thursday, so I could possibly just do that 3 days from now. It wouldn't be that much of a loss. But I want to show you guys what I have been drawing recently. So I had an idea that I was gonna draw the changers every day until I reached 1,000 followers, but a couple problems with that. The drawings that I had in mind took more than a day to make on and off, and I don't even check my followers like that, so I would just be diving into a pit. Like I wouldn't know when to stop. So I'm just doing changer drawings for the heck of it now. Because like I said, I want to get the premise over. I'm not necessarily super focused on the deep story. I am like in terms of like brainstorming and stuff like that, but I'm holding off on showing people that right now because I want to get them to know the characters first and foremost, and make episodes that don't put them in very dire situations just yet. Just let people. I want to make episodes that just let people know the status quo. My voice is so rough right now. I am pretty tired from the gym, so that must be it. But yeah, I made this a few days ago. I actually started working on this in April, but I kind of forgot it existed, and I was like, this is a really cool composition. Let me finish this, and I'm proud of it. So this is the second drawing that I did for the Changers Challenge. Post mugging shenanigans. I'm really proud of the shading I was able to achieve on this. And then this one, which I finished this morning. Just a group picture. So I'm definitely going to, my priority right now is just, letting the Changers be them. And letting you guys see how they operate before that status quo is shattered beyond recognition when we get into the actual plot. Your jaws will drop. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna hold off on that Changers breakdown video for right now. I'm probably gonna record it later today, but it won't be on stream because I do want it to be a little more precise. So yeah. I don't know. Last stream I did take requests, and there were a few requests left over, but I kind of want to hold off on those because let's see what the requests were. I think they were Zack Saturday and like Generator Rex. And I really want to make full pieces out of those. So I don't want to do them right now because that's going to take a heck of a long time. But I got a ton of videos in the pipeline, a ton of content, a ton of things that I've been waiting to do for a while that I am finally pushing myself to do. Right now, actually, because I'm not doing the Changers breakdown on stream, I kind of want to redraw something old. So I'm looking through my old folders and looking for a cool piece to redraw. Something that doesn't require me explaining a ton of lore either, because then that would take away from the breakdown that I'm about to make. I want to pick something that looks like garbage. The two criteria: something that doesn't look good and doesn't take a lot of time to explain. So I'm leaning towards a drawing of one of the Changers, the two main team members. Because my subscribers, you guys probably already know who they are. Like, at least on a surface level, I guess. Looking through my folder for trash. Honestly, I'm in my 2020 folder because I label my so you can see right now, I label my drawings by year and by category. So original art is just like Changers art, and 2020 is the year, obviously. and I'm trying to look for trash, but honestly, these don't look half bad for the time. I mean, I'll try this. No, I'm good. That one's too basic. I was gonna redesign the future versions of the changers, but that's like probably gonna do that a month from now or something, because I really want to get over like the base changers. This is what it is. And I also want to choose a dynamic pose, which, you know, it's 2020, so but I wasn't on that level yet. Ooh, I had a good one, but I don't know if I should do that. Let's look at 2021. Ooh, I did have I should redraw this. Actually, this doesn't look half bad as it is. I had a Gorillaz Demon Days parody. Parody design for a t-shirt. And like, it doesn't, let me be normal. It doesn't work, or it doesn't look too bad right now. Like, it doesn't look that bad. It looks pretty good. For 2021, this was not half bad. But I do want to redraw it just so it can fit the current style. And I don't want to do that right now, even though I said I would be making merch on stream. But I want to save that until Thursday. So actually, let me write what is going to happen on Thursday. 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 8/7 to 8. What's Friday? 11. 8/11. Thursday, Changers lore breakdown. This is what I'm gonna go over all this stuff, everything that you need to know to get into the Changers. Pretty much the starter kit, like the Prima Player's Guide or whatever. Also going to be redrawing the Demon Days merch. Let me write that down right now. I guess I'll start the Gen Rex in between that time and then finish it on stream. Who knows? But I'm just gonna write that down. Generator Rex. And ooh, I had a video idea. Things every digital artist should do to stay successful. I'm also going to experiment with the times I'm going to stream, because last time I streamed before this, it was like 5 p.m. and that garnered a lot more engagement. So, you know, I'm just testing the waters. And also next stream, it's going to be another request fest. That's a good name. Where you guys suggest who I should be doodling, because that's a really good way to interact with the viewer. what else would I be making on Thursday? I want the streams to go to at least 2.5 hours so that I have enough content to split up into videos. Last stream was actually really good. I was watching the VOD of it and it was not half bad. So I'm gonna take notes from it. Yeah, this was pretty much like a catching up stream, letting you guys know what's up, what's going to happen in the future, and also testing the ability to make videos on stream, which will undoubtedly get better once I start streaming more and I'm just more confident on camera. But for our first attempt, it wasn't super bad, you know. But anyway, that's pretty much, I don't got anything else to say right now. The big bombshells I want to drop are going to be coming on Thursday, once I've had a drink of water. But thank you guys for tuning into the stream. It was a little short, but you know, this is a small step for the channel that will have big rewards. So I'm looking forward to streaming more, and have a great evening. And I don't have an outro. Like,